Welcome to Vlogmas Day 20, and I'm going to tell you all about my grandmother Daisy. We're wasting time. Hello Hotties, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I'm Ali Mack and I am currently a 7th grade math teacher. While you're here, please click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any other videos from me. Do it now. Before I get too far into this video about my grandmother Daisy, I would like to wish my cousin Ian a very happy birthday. Happy birthday, Ian, and I hope whatever you're doing makes you happy. So in today's video, I wanted to talk to you and share with you about one of my favorite people that ever lived. So let's go ahead and get into the video. It was the year 1921. Warren G. Harding became president following Woodrow Wilson. Congresswoman Alice Marie Robinson becomes the first woman to preside over the House of Representatives. Adolf Hitler becomes the leader of the National Socialist German Workers' Party. Anglo-Irish Treaty is signed. Ireland receives domain status, and this partition creates Northern Ireland. Perfume Chanel No. 5 is released by Coco Chanel. Gucci is founded in Florence, Italy. Albert Einstein wins a Nobel Peace Prize in physics. Police in Sunbury, Pennsylvania, United States issue an edict that requires women to wear skirts no more than 4 inches below the knee. Let's be more specific. December 20th, 1921, the most common baby names are John and Mary. The name Mary was given to 73,982 girls on this day, and the name John was given to 58,217 boys on this day. Also on this day, December 20th, 1921, my grandmother Daisy was born. This was a Tuesday. She was a Sagittarius. If she was alive today, this would be her 99th birthday. If you did not watch any further into this video, I want you to know this. My grandmother had the best relationships with everyone, especially her children. More specifically, my aunt and my uncles and my mother. And even to this day, she influences my decisions on handling people. So basically, if you don't take anything else away from this video, or you don't watch any further, I want you to know that it pays off to be kind. Even when someone is really getting on your nerves, even when you don't have any patience left, you need to be mindful of what that other person is going through, and knowing that it might not be personal. They just might not know how to handle their emotions the way many of us do. So don't ever make other people feel bad. Always be classy. Always take the high road. Is that easy? No. But that also shows you the strength that my grandmother Daisy has, or had. Always give people the benefit of the doubt. Look for ways to build people up, not bring them down. Follow the golden rule. Do unto others as you would like others to do to you. So now that that's out of the way, and those of you who are going to click out of this video, you can go if you didn't want to watch the whole thing. But now I'm going to share with you my experiences with my grandmother Daisy. Now obviously, I have so many memories of my grandmother. These are the first thoughts that I think of when someone mentions her. And out of any specific order, I have got to talk about how amazing of a cook she was. She could fry anything and it would be wonderful. In fact, she used to fry deer meat and it tasted like fried chicken. And then some of you are probably thinking, why didn't you just eat fried chicken? Because that's not what my grandmother had served me. Also, she would do this thing. My sister and I would sit on the bar stools while she was cooking, and she would have her little egg bath, and she'd have her flour, and she would say, the chicken's getting in the hot tub. Oh, let's go to the sand. And she'd wrap the chicken into the flour. She's like, oh, back into the hot tub. Oh, back into the sand. Now let's get in the ocean, which was the frying pan. And I will never, ever, ever forget that. Also, at breakfast time, we all had our different places at the table, and my granddaddy had his own little spot. And she would sit in his chair with her coffee, and she'd be like, "I'm gonna be granddaddy," and sit in his chair. And we just thought that was so funny. She also taught me how to put up fresh vegetables. We would go to the farmer market, or we would buy a bunch of fresh vegetables from a local farmer, and we would sit at the kitchen table, and she would show me how to put up fresh vegetables so we could cook them later. Many times we would walk out to the garden and we would pick radishes, or later in the season we would pick blueberries, and she'd make the best blueberry cobbler. My mom makes really, really good blueberry pies out of those blueberries that are still thriving today, I think. And when we would visit her house as children, even as adults, she knew what everybody liked, and she made sure to stock up on everybody's favorite foods. So when they came and saw her, everybody had stuff they loved to eat. I remember her, she loved Wheel of Fortune, she loved Days of Our Lives, she loved crossword puzzles, she loved to read romance novels. And I remember one time I read one of the romance novels she read, and I was like, oh my gosh, my sweet little grandmother loves reading this. Because, you know, she always was so prim and proper, like very classy, like the perfect role model. She was so prim and proper, she didn't even curse. In fact, I remember one of her curse words was 8:48. So anytime it's 8:48 a.m. or 8:48 p.m., I always think of her. Also, she was an amazing storyteller. Whenever she would tell a story, it was like you were right there with her. She just was so animated and theatrical, and she would use big gestures, and she just had a way of telling stories. Before she passed away, she was the longest standing member of the First Baptist Church in Taylorsville. She went to church every Sunday, and she would invite everybody that happened to be at our house that day to go with her. And I had the luxury to live with her the last 8 months of her life. I remember I was in Gulfport, and I was working as a barista at Barnes & Noble Cafe. A lot of people knew this as Starbucks, and she invited me to come live with her so I could go back to college. And that's exactly what I did. Now, I graduated after she passed away, but I feel like she knows that if it weren't for her, that might have never happened. I remember she would make coffee, and her coffee was so strong. Most people did not like it, but I loved it, because if you've ever had Starbucks coffee, you know how strong it is. So I would sit on the fireplace next to her chair, and we would just talk for hours, and she had so much wisdom, and I will always cherish those conversations. This is actually the second time I had lived with her throughout my life. I mean, this time was so I could get back on my feet, and the time before was when I was a small child, so my parents could get back on their feet. This is back, I believe, in the 80s, whenever the price of oil dropped, and a tornado blew my parents' business away. So my dad went back to college so he could once thrive again, and he did, of course. But if it weren't for my grandmother's generosity to myself and my family back when I was younger, I'm not sure if we would have had the success we had. She was just always there for her family, and she would even be there for people that were not her family. I remember some people, she would put up with them because she always gave them the benefit of the doubt. And when certain people were at our house, she would take her purse back to her bedroom with her, and she would look at me and say, "I just don't want other people to be tempted." I mean, that's just so kind. Most people are like, "Stop stealing my stuff." You know what I mean? But her thoughts were, "I don't want other people to be tempted to take what belonged to me." You know, and it's just so kind. I remember I was on this huge exercise kick that I get into, which I need to get back onto. And after I would finish my daily exercise routine, watching a video, it could have been Taibo or whatever crunch workout video I was watching, she would say stuff like, "Man, I burned calories just by watching you." And that always made me feel really good, because she noticed that I was trying to improve myself. Even if no one else did, she noticed. And she also loved my children, her grandchildren. My daughter, she would teach her how to write numbers and letters and identify these numbers and letters. She would call my son Lee Boy, his middle name is Lee, and she would give him a bottle when I needed a much needed break. And she would go that extra mile for everyone that she knew. And I know that she touched a lot of people's lives. Also, I want to point out that she made the best peach cobbler and pecan pies. Usually, if it wasn't chocolate, I didn't want to waste my calories on it. But I would waste my calories on her pecan pie and her peach cobbler, especially with vanilla ice cream. Now, I know there is so much more to my grandmother Daisy, but most of you watching this did not know her, but you probably knew someone like her, someone that changed your life and made you feel special no matter what the circumstances. And I think I've mentioned in previous video, that's one reason I love butterflies so much. She loved butterflies. My grandmother Daisy loved butterflies. And anytime I see a butterfly, it immediately brings back all these amazing memories I have of her. So there's that. And I hope, like I said earlier in this video, if you don't take anything else away from this video, be classy. Okay, be classy. Be kind to people, even when they're not kind to you. And the Bible might even use this phrase, turn the other cheek. She always turned the other cheek, and she was always kind. And everybody appreciated that. Even people that might not have been nice to her at the time, they realized how sweet and what a good person she was, because she did not lash out of that. She did not lash out at them in their time of need. So if you don't get anything else from this video, be kind to others. And I don't even know what she would think about what's going on now in this world, but I know that she would be one of those people that was high risk. And in ways, I'm glad she didn't get to see it, but in other ways, I just really, really miss her. In fact, she passed away on December 19th, 16 years ago, and I still miss her. I was there, and I really miss her. She's one of the few people that I have lost that when I think of her, I get teary-eyed because I just miss her so much. I have dreams that she's guiding me, and maybe she is. I like to think so. All right, you guys, that is it for this video. If you found it helpful, informative, or even entertaining, please like, share, and subscribe. Comment below the butterfly emoji. And as always, you all have the best day ever, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.